それが少し早まったと思えばいい。
とにかく昨日のバルター殿の起点には心の底から感謝いたしますわ。あれがなければ今頃姫様が宰相と結婚させられているところですものね。まったくあんな陰険じじいが可愛い姫様をどうこうしようなんて世界に対する犯罪ですわ。
Truly, I felt my hair was standing on end. Walter, I will never forget this act of kindness. See, like, you can start dating him from the beginning. Say nothing. Let's just say nothing. I could say something. I'm going to be like this.
でも、嘆いてばかりいても始まりませんわね。とにかく、他の領主たちに姫様を王として認めさせ、剣の制約を勝ち取らなければなりません。清掃なんて真っ平だと思っていましたが、仕方ありませんわね。やるしかないようです。これから忙しくなりますわ。バルター殿、準備を手伝っていただけますか？
ああ、そのことなんだが。
はい、どうなさいました？
俺は本日付でお暇をいただきたい。
どういうことですの？
俺は先王陛下に剣を捧げ禄を賜っていた親衛騎士だ。昨日まではその縁で王女をお守りしていたが、俺の主は先王陛下ただ一人なのだ。王女殿下ではない。
でもそれは言っても仕方のないことでは。先王陛下は亡くなられましたのよ。
騎士にとっては大事なことだ。精神的なこともあるが、生活面でもな。俺のように領地を持たない騎士は、主から禄を賜らなけりゃ、身支度どころか飯も食えない。俺みたいに無駄に年を重ねていれば、使う従者や弟分の騎士も多くてな。なんというか、無駄に金がかかるんだ。王女殿下も、これから何かと物入りだ。俺が高い給金を要求し続けては、懐が辛くなるだろう。
Yeah, he's like saying, I'm like a high knight, I am expensive, and her majesty may not want me as her knight because, you know, she has a certain amount that she can spend, and she may not want me as her knight. You know, I'm expensive. He's not saying that he's expensive because, you know, because, you know, I want to gain more or something like that. It's because he has a certain reputation and he's above a lot of other knights, and that's why he's more expensive, you know.
そこをなんとか割安で使われてはくださいませんか？
おいおい、騎士には世間体ってものがあるんだぞ。擦り切れた服や帽子をまとい、錆びた剣を持ってうろつくのは、はっきり言って名誉に関わる。ダメだダメだ。いくら姫君たちのお願いでも、それだけはごめん被るぞ。
Yeah, it's a matter of honor for him, you know, because she can get others that are not as expensive, you know, but he has a reputation, he has a certain honor, and he doesn't want, you know, he likes her, but he doesn't want the situation to affect that.
もう殿方はくだらないことばかり気になさるんですから。でもそれではまさか宰相のところに行かれるおつもり？
どうかな。あの時領主たちに言ったセリフは俺にとっても意味があったんだ。俺もまた忠誠を捧げるべき君主のあるなしをこの一年で見極めてみたいと思っている。もっとも根性ではもう二度と 主と仰ぐべき方には巡り合えないかもしれないな。
バルター殿。わかりました。そういうことでしたら仕方ありませんわ。あなたの行く道に聖騎士たちの加護がありますように。誇り高きあなたの忠誠に見合うだけの主に巡り会えると良いですわね。
ありがとう、次女殿。騎士王の導きがあるのなら、いつかまたこの場所で会おう。今はさらばだ。
さて、シルベストル王子様も帰られてしまい、護衛の騎士もいなくなり、とうとう二人っきりですわね、姫様。
Yeah, she's going to be like a good friend, a good support. Wilfred too, he's going to be a really good support.
王家の権威や栄光もこうなっては何の役に立つでもなし。ご先祖様が残してくださった王家の資料とこの城の資産だけが頼りですわ。まずは腹ごしらえですわね。腹ペコ聖騎士では子犬にも勝てないとも申しますし、甘いコクアール茶を一杯と焼きたてのお菓子をご用意いたしますわ。少々お待ちくださいませ。あなたは
エクレール殿、君がついていながらこれは一体どういうことだね。なぜ殿下が玉座にもつけずおかしな揉め事に巻き込まれているのだ。
I think it's Suzuka-san, the voice actor, isn't it? Sounds like him.
あなたこそなんで今さら帰ってきますの？姫様の父兄弟のくせに姫様が一番心細くて困っている時にいなかったじゃありませんか。
Oh, wait. Her foster brother? Then... But they were not talking about the princess as him, right? I don't remember. He is the son of Sylvester, okay? But they're like talking about foster brother. Okay.
そんな役立たずの学士様は未来永劫いなくて結構ですわ。
Maybe despite being Sylvester's son, he was adopted by His Majesty. Could it be that? I don't remember. Maybe it's that.
やってくるのが遅れたのを詫びよう。ただこれでも戦王の崩御を聞いたその日に学業を急遽切り上げて駆けつけたのだ。ノーストリリア国からこのターブルロンドまで馬車でどれだけかかると思っているのかね。さあ、つまらないヒステリーはやめて殿下のところへ通してくれ。
まったくこの国の男たちと来たらどいつもこいつも。
She's like always complaining.
姫様嬉しいお知らせがございます。領主シルベストル様のご長男にして当代きっての秀才ウィンフリート様がご帰国なさいました。
なるほど、状況に関しては理解できました。以後祭りごとに関しては私にお任せください。最新の政治学を学んできた成果をご覧に入れましょう。必ずや殿下に勝利を。
I look forward to it. No words of kindness. Hearing that tone of voice brings back memories. Do you want to be flirty with him? I don't know if I want to be flirty with him. I mean, we can get like some type of ending with him, but okay, we can do it. I think I've always chosen the other options. I don't know if I ever chosen this one. Hearing that tone of voice brings back memories.
ウィンフリート殿って子供の頃からこんな喋り方でしたものね。
特に口調を直す必要もありませんでしたので。
よく考えればこうして3人揃うのも久しぶり。この場だけでも平穏だった昔に戻ったみたいですわね。
私の口調程度でも殿下のお心を休んずることができたのなら、急ぎ帰国した甲斐はありましたな。
不本意ながらさすが頼りになりますわ。姫様を最小の毒牙から守るため一緒に頑張っていきましょうね、ウィンフリート。
ああ、我が国の王権は王家によってのみ継承されるべきだ。宰相殿の思い通りにはさせない。
He's just so much like his father. He's just like so kind to.
何かちょっと意見がずれている気もしますけれど、ま、よろしいですわ。それではまず何をいたしましょうか。
1にも2にも情報だ。過去の例に照らし合わせるまでもなく、政争の勝敗は情報量が左右する。エクレール殿も頑張って集めてくれたようだが、1年間を戦うにあたっては全く不足だ。幸い、教会が今回の約束事を決めるまでしばし時間を必要とするはず。それまでに諸々の準備をしておこう。
合点だ。
そういう野蛮な物言いは王女のお付きとしてはふさわしくないな。
ああ、つまらない男だこと。
Several days passed.
人の子らの未来のために、ターブルロンドの王位争いに関し、我々教会は以下の前提を提案する。一つ、その意志と能力を持つすべての領主に王の座は開かれているものとする。
So, quindecim is an Italian word that means 15. Why is he named like that? I don't know. So, since the forum is going to supervise this situation, they are establishing the rules.
二つ、一年後、すべての領主は己の信ずる者に剣の制約を行う。
If you are like wondering, oh, but what is the forum? Well, we are going to see a bit more about it during the game. And I won't be able to tell you much about the forum because, as I told you, I was never able to do quindecim till the end. And it's not a matter, for me, it's not a matter of curiosity in terms of what's behind the mask. For me, it's a curiosity that I have in terms of actually understanding better what the forum is, especially what type of influence the forum has within the kingdom. Because you are going to see that the forum has a lot of influence and is very related to the advancement of science and technology. And what does that mean to the kingdom? And I was always very curious to do the quindecim's route because I wanted to understand a little bit better the weight of the forum within the people. And you do have some lords that are very into the forum thing, okay? Because the forum in here, it's kind of like you had religion in the monarchy times, okay? Imagine this guy is like the representation of the church. The forum is like the representation of the church in like the medieval times that you imagine in your head. But in here, like the church, the forum is not in the way that you are thinking, you know. It's not the type of religion that you are thinking. It's more like connected to science and technology. So it's kind of weird and it makes you very curious about it. And I always wanted to do Kogado Studios route because I wanted to understand a little better what is the forum, what are you actually experimenting in there, what are you actually doing, what is the influence that you have on people with your, let's call it, religion kind of thing, you know. So yeah, I was always very curious, and I continue to be very curious about this guy and the forum, because it's enveloped in a certain mystery along the game. But let's continue.
結果、過半数の制約を得た者が王として認められる。3つ、この1年の期間中、領主・領地間の物理的な抗争は禁止とする。王を目指す者は、己の魅力と言葉のみを武器とすべし。4つ、言葉をもってしても解決できないことがあるならば。
Yeah, see, he was like saying one of the rules is like you cannot start a civil war. It's kind of like that.
騎士の心得に従い、正々堂々の決闘で決着をつけること。
Yeah, you will have like a lot of duels during these trials.
5つ、この1年間を騎士王の孤児になぞらえ、王の試練と呼称する。
教会から約束事が通達されてきたようです。個人的に第一項目に異論があるものの、おおむね公平な約束事のようです。さすが教会はそつがない。第一項目にしても、最小の向こうを張って立候補する度胸のある者は今の領主たちにはいないでしょう。
第2項目がなんだか変ですわ。過半数の制約が必要ということ自体は合理的かもしれませんが、先日のようにどちらも過半数の制約が得られなかった場合はどうなりますの？
その場合のことについて何も書かれていないということに何か意図を感じるな。だが教会を疑っても仕方がない。こういう形で出された以上、そのまま受け入れておくしかないだろう。
Like the first time I've played this, I was a bit skeptical about the forum because of what he's saying in here, which is like, she was like pointing out, what if, you know, there's like a draw or something, you know, between both of them, and we don't reach like a conclusion. And I was very skeptical the first time I played the game because I was like thinking again about the forum, thinking about what is the forum? Could they be planning something in here if me or Dictor do not take control of the trials, you know, the kingdom, if we do not win? Could they be like supervising because they also have like an idea of if not one nor the other wins the trials, the forum would just take the whole kingdom to themselves. I thought about this, you know, there was a moment I was like thinking about this, like, what is the forum? What is this thing? You know?
そうですわね。仮面といい言動といい、もともと怪しい方々ですし、今さら怪しい意図の一つや二つ。残りの項目は妥当なところでしょう。戦争を禁じてくれているのは助かりますわね。
武力による内戦状態になっては王も何もない焦土になりかねんかとな。補給もいくつかあるようだが、まあ枝葉のことだ。
さて、執政官殿、いよいよ王の試練が始まりますけれど、何か策はございまして？
本質的には王としての手腕を問われる1年間だ。殿下はこの王女領の統治に専念していただくのが良いだろう。だがそれだけでは他の領主たちに対する求心力が弱い。
Yeah, she will have to prove herself during these trials.
王女の意図を伝え、領主たちを説得し、時に決闘でねじ伏せるため 王女の手足となる騎士たちが必要だ。もっともこの際、地方の経営と護衛を任されているような放置の騎士たちはお呼びではないがね。
Yeah, he's pointing out that, well, we already have a council right now, which is Winfred. But now we need knights to support us.
王家に長年仕えてくれる放置の騎士は各地に多くいますけど、彼らはいわば地方の要。彼らをその土地から動かしては、その地が不安定になってしまいますものね。
狙うは遍歴の騎士。土地や代々の主を持たず、修行の旅を続けている騎士たちだ。彼らは身軽であり、修行を経て能力に優れ、何より理想と名誉のために燃えている。服や武器を揃える程度の給金でも、大義ある王女のために喜んで動いてくれるだろう。
なるほどなるほど。ちなみにおすすめは？
ここに記した20人弱。中でも、これから述べる7人は十分に役に立ってくれるだろう。
Okay, so we need 7. Okay, look first at this Sir Evangile fellow. We can't go wrong if we pick him for his youth and intelligence. He's a master of words, well known within the nation, and he's voiced by my favorite voice actor, which is Koyazu-san. And yeah, I really like that. But this guy, he's very good. This knight is very good with persuasion. He's the playboy, the flirty type of guy. But that also means that he can get a lot of information from rumors and gossiping, and he knows how to use the words, as he says in here. Personally speaking, I don't much prefer him. He has a bit of a reputation as a ladies' man, yeah. But if we're talking about him following strategies for battles of words against the lords, then there is no one better. I feel we can leave our issues to him. True. I already did him, I of course, because, you know, he's voiced by the voice actor that I like the most. And I was like, I'm going to do him. And he likes, if you want to do him, he likes painting and art stuff. I'm telling you this because there's a point where you can give gifts to them, and I'm telling you this because I remember that he likes painting. So if you find the merchant and you want to do Evangile, just buy that, okay? Then we have Sir Dietrich. Though a council for Mannheim, I've heard he is also a knight errant. I'm sure you are already aware of this, but not only is he a master of both swords and pen, but he is a knight with a mystifying impact on others. Yeah, I only did like tidbits of him. Yeah, I took it. Like, you take them, and that doesn't mean you are going to have their events coming up, okay? Like, there are certain procedures that you need to do to actually get their events coming up, okay? So, I already got him, but I don't think I've got any event with him, maybe like one or something. Yeah, so I don't know much about him. There is the fear that he's rather close to darkness, but I believe we can use that to our advantage as well. Yeah, true. And if there's anyone who could bring the lords to their knees in a duel, it would be Sir Walter. Both courageous and gallant, he would be a great help to us. Yeah, I already did Walter too. And Walter is very prone to go to the bar and drink. yeah, he's kind of like the alcoholic type of guy. He's a great guy, but yeah, he kind of has like that type of tendency. True. I didn't actually like it that much doing his route, but he was okay. He's very trustworthy though, yeah. He's always going to protect her, he's always been very trustworthy. Though your highness may not wish to duel anyone, there may be times when our opponents might challenge you in turn. Those are the moments when you want that person at your side, representing and protecting you and scattering your enemies about, yeah. Military strength in here is kind of like important when you are choosing your knights. If you want a knight of nobility, there is none other than Sir Elliot. He is a young man who has yet to receive any decorations as a knight, but his resourcefulness is already first class. Maybe I'll take Elliot because he's related to nobility. Let me put it in here. I don't think I've ever taken, Elliot. I put in here. Maybe I'll take Elliot. Because he might be good for the nobility lords, you know, the ones that are kind of like more related to it. And Roderick, I don't remember, whatever. The guy that I'm trying to, I'm so bad. The guy that I'm trying to do, he's kind of more related to lineage and heritage and nobility. So maybe, let me see. He has neither the bravado nor the long missions adults have undertaken, but if given a mission that utilizes his cleverness, I believe he will meet your expectation. No, wait, I think I took him like last time. Oh no, maybe, wait, maybe I won't, no, I'm going to say no. Yeah, I think the last time I did this, which I think it was Sylvester, he was so bad. Okay, like, sometimes you choose them and you're like, oh my god. And if you kind of like feel like they are so, I don't know if it was this guy. I think Elliot, I think it's this guy. That you already have like your 7 knights. And then there's a kid that comes to us asking us if we could just take him. And I don't know if it's Elliot. Is it another guy? Yeah, I don't remember. And he was like, he was too much young and fresh and he couldn't do nothing. He was kind of like, I thought to myself, I should have refused. You know, it's always good because you have one more. Like, you have the 7 guys, and then you think about it like, oh, I'm going to have one more. But sometimes that's not actually helpful, because you think, oh, I'm going to have one more, it's going to be helpful, you know. Because he comes, yeah, he doesn't want your money. I think it's like that. He doesn't, I'm spoiling the things that have in here. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Elliot. There was one guy, he was like Elliot, very young. I think it's Elliot. I'm not sure. And I remember that I took him because he was like, I really want to be a knight. Do not give me money. It's fine. I'm free. You can have me. And I was like, okay, sure. You know, I have like 7 knights and I can have another one and not even pay him nothing. But sometimes it's kind of bad because when you send him on missions, he can make things worse because he doesn't have the knowledge and the strength, the knowledge, whatever, to do things in the right way. So sometimes it's better if you just say no. And I was like thinking the whole route, like, oh, maybe I should have said no to him. I don't know if it was Elliot. We'll see it. We'll see it. I think it was Elliot. Okay, then we have Sir Ilia. Do you know Sir Ilia, a crown prince from Granny? He currently lives in our nation as a knight. Yeah, I don't know if I ever took him. He has a dangerous personality, but is a gifted boy that excels both in the sword and pen. You can expect him to work in response to situations. Sir Van is a gentleman who served under His Highness Prince Filius as a guardian knight, fit and healthy. He's the best in the land. Maybe we'll take Van. I need to see them better. The trials of kings will be a long battle among many patriots. Should you employ him, a man who never rests, it will be useful for our strategies. Yeah, maybe I'll prefer Van. I'll see it. That makes 6 people. What of the last person? So these are Winfred recommendations. All of our knights are the cream of the crop, so much that it is difficult to say who is better than any other. However, if you mean to choose that last person, that would be Knight Astrid. Best to ignore him. Any of the others will do fine. What? Him? I never would have imagined. Truth be told, he is still young and inexperienced, but no one else comes close to his passion for protecting Her Highness. The thing with Astrid is that he may unconsciously betray us. You know how Dictor is good with persuasion and words. You know that this guy is very naive and he might fall into a trap and thinking that he's like protecting us and might actually do something that is not going to protect us. But let's think about it, okay? If you accept the Chancellor's Sion, Your Highness, it may possibly hold our opponents in check. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we can't get Astrid. I don't know if I ever taken Astrid with me. I don't know. We'll see it. Now then, Highness, before everything begins, I will ask you one important thing. This will be a hard year. Are you confident that you can fight through it without being discouraged? Okay, yeah. By now, I probably would be able to do a hard one. The thing is, it's been a year. Honestly, I think it's been a year since I've played the game, and I don't even remember the gameplay in itself. I remember some stories and stuff. The gameplay, I don't remember. So I'm not very confident. I see. No, that's natural. But do not worry. At this point, it doesn't seem you need to be totally pessimistic. I will do all that I'm able to. I'm sure it will work out. Yeah, I think when you pick like normal, Winfred is going to basically manage most of the things. Highness, if you don't mind, I'd like to give you some advice about the directions of the governance. I have a bad feeling about this. Sir Consul, will that explanation be like really long? It won't take... it won't be over in 10 or 20 seconds, in 2 or 3 words. Pass. The one to make that decision is Her Highness, not you. What would you like, Highness? I don't need it, but yes, I like to hear it because we're doing this for the first time. Yes, let me hear it. Understood. Now please lend me some of your time. Ooh, but my lady says she wants to hear, so it can't be helped. Now then, Highness, please allow me, Winfred, to be your Highness' instructor in state affairs. There are many things I would like your Highness to consider when you actually administer the kingdom. What a tedious way to say that. Anything difficult like that should be carried out by Sir Council. I'm sure there will be times when Her Highness wants to administer some affairs of state herself. There is no harm in knowing how. Well, this is about political matters, so I can't speak to it. My lady, if it gets boring, no, if it gets too difficult, let's leave it to the reliable counsel. First, I will explain the basics of the Trials of Kings to you. The basics, nothing too difficult, alright? Then I will be concise. If you gather the support of lords from each area by having them pledge their faith in your ability to rule, you win. That was pretty easy to understand. I'm sure you can do it if you try. To add to that, you win if you have a majority of support. Also, dead lords have no vote. Okay. Yeah, because I was remembering him. Like, he's the guy that I'm trying to get in here. So it's Rodovich. Oh, sorry, I said Roderick or something like that. What about Master Rodovich, the Ghost Lord? He's dead from the start. Yeah, he's a Ghost Lord, okay? He's not actually human. You probably didn't knew that. Yeah, he's a Ghost Lord. Any lords that die during the trials have no vote. Okay, I understand now. A majority of support then. So what should we do to win that support? Yeah, like, he's saying this and I'm like thinking that some of them actually, I think some of them actually die along the trial. Now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I think Epidote was like one of them, wasn't he? Yeah, now he's like making me think about it. Yeah, I think some of them actually die along the way. I don't know. It's been too long, honestly. I don't remember everything. Govern the territories, appeal to the lords. Those two will be crucial. Do you want me to explain? Maybe I should. Okay, I'm going to put, because I don't know if you want to see everything. Understood. Leave it to me. There are two main ways to gain support. Demonstrate your ability to rule by governing the territories, and the other is appealing directly to the lords to gain their favor. Look at this map, Highness. Yeah, this is like the map we're going to see along the way. This is the map you use to actually govern. This circle is a territory. What do the colors mean? Blue, red, green, yellow. They show who that lord supports. Putting it simply, blue are allies, red are enemies, and green and yellow are in between. Blue are allies and red are enemies. I see. That means that blue supports my lady taking the throne, and red and green don't. That's right. In other words, gaining support means reducing red and green and increasing blue. And what's necessary for that is demonstrating your ability to rule by managing the territories and gaining the Lord's favor by appealing to them. I basically understand the management of territories, so what about appealing directly? For example, sending gifts and getting closer to them personally. There is also the ordering of your knights to hold traditional duels and having opponents that lose follow you. There are many ways. Let's save the explanation of appealing for later. To confirm, Highness, having the support of the lords is necessary to win the Trials of Kings, and for that, show your ability by governing the territories. Appeal directly to the lords to gain their support. Those are the things we must do. Okay, let's move on. Understood. I will commence the next explanation. Next, I will explain about funds. Money, that's very base talk all of a sudden. Even so, it cannot be avoided. We cannot operate without funds. Now then, Highness, I will explain about funds. It's nothing more than money. I will listen. Understood. It could be regarded as the most important factor, so please listen carefully. Funds are to be used systematically and efficiently. You could say that it is the most important factor in governing the territories. Without money, we'll go bankrupt. If you go bankrupt managing the territories, you won't be able to rule the whole kingdom. Look at this material, Highness. Yeah, this is also another thing that we're going to deal with. Investments for territory management are displayed. For now, look at just the funds list on top. So, like, we have this amount of funds, and we need to distribute it among these the luxury, the society, the economy, these investments as they call it. Yeah, and we need to be the ones deciding if we want the funds to go more into the intelligence, the forum, the economy. So we are the ones that manage that. We have all these funds in our domain now. As the lady in waiting just said, if these funds become insufficient, territory management will become bankrupt. Be careful managing your funds. If you bankrupt the territories, forget being a ruler. You fail as a lord. Yeah, that would be bad. What should we do to avoid that? Well, if you carry out your political duties correctly, it will be fine. If your management of the territories progresses well, you can expect an increase in taxes. Yeah, you also have the taxes thing, okay? Yeah, right. So you take the money, you get the way, and bam, throw it back into the territories and taxes increase. Tee-hee! You are basically correct in your understanding. Basically, so what's spot on? Managing the territories isn't the only thing that depletes funds. They are also important for appealing to lords. Yeah, so, like, imagine you decide to put higher taxes. People are not going to be happy about it. You are going to have more rebellion in your territories, okay? The territories of the kingdom. And you are going to get more funds from that. So you can distribute these funds in these five? Yeah, five. In these five investments, you know? You can decide that. Or you can decide that I'm going to put low taxes, but then the funds I'm going to get are going to be lower, and to distribute them, it's going to be another issue, you know? And why is this important? This is the part that he's trying to explain to us, which is giving more to a certain type of investment is also important when you are trying to get the favor of a lord. Imagine a lord that really favors the luxury and nobility. He will want you to put more funds into that aspect than putting it into, I don't know, like the intelligence or something. Okay? So, for instance, if you are doing the forum, they would probably want you to put more in the forum. If you are doing Clemens, for instance, he's very into the forum, but he's also very into intelligence. So you need to like put a bit more for those, and that's what he's trying to say in here, that you need to manage. For example, implementing duels between underlings so lords will follow you, that requires funds. Oh, duels between knights are almost festivals, setting up the grounds and other costs. But I'll explain about duels later. For example, a certain lord says they are having difficulty managing their own funds and ask for a donation. Another thing that you need to manage in here. So, you need to manage your territories, you need to manage your taxes, the funds and investments, the duels, and the donations too. Oh, and sending gifts is also important, and donations. How lavish if you could give money like that? Yeah, you can give money. You can say like, I want to support this lord by giving him a certain amount of money as a donation. And honestly, they like that. They will get into your side if you actually donate money to them, especially even more if they are having like difficulty with their economy or something. That's even more precious to them. How lavish if you could. It kind of sounds like you are using some kind of corruption in here. Yeah, kind of like that. How lavish if you could give money like that. They'll be in your debt. You could buy their favor, yes. Use like somewhat kind of corruption in here. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but basically true. Otherwise, funds are necessary to employ knights. The examples are too numerous to mention. Yeah, also, you will also have an amount per month that you will have to give to your knights. You won't deal with that. You just have to have the conscious of that when you are picking the knights that you are going to take. That's why like Walter was like saying, oh, I'm too expensive. Okay, for fund management, it's incredibly important to use both territory management and appealing to the lords. That's all for the explanation of funds. Have you understood everything so far? This seems complicated, but if you just put, this is my recommendation to you. You are new to the game, you don't know how to do this. Let me just tell you this. Put on normal. Let Winfred just manage most things. And you will understand that this is actually not that hard. You will always get any type of end. And I mean, I never lost. Honestly, it's not that hard to actually win if you want. For instance, the last time, as I told you, like I was trying to do Clemens, I was not being able because I was not actually doing this in the right way. And I ended up doing Sylvester. I mean, Sylvester is always, like, you can always do that guy. You can always do that sugar daddy guy. Yeah, because he's always on your side. You know? So if you feel like, oh, I don't know what I should do in here and stuff like that, it's fine. Just go by the average or something like that. You will do it. This seems complicated, but this game is not that complicated at all. Yes, funds are needed for everything. I think I should hear it or no. Yes, please take care with funds. I will now explain how to actually manage your political duties. Your political duties are basically divided into categories: finance and knight commands. They'll be easy to remember if it's just two. Yeah, you also have to manage the knights and send them to specific places. So yeah, it really seems complicated, doesn't it? No. Of course I will now go into greater detail. I knew it. Now then, Highness, which explanation will you hear? Well, let's start with the finance. Understood. Now I will explain about finance. What I want you to remember first is that unlike knight commands, finance can only be undertaken once a month. I don't remember this. What is this finance? It's only once a month. I will hear Her Highness' decision when she can make time on the first week of every month. Yeah, I think it's like the funds and stuff like, and the taxes, and you only do it once per month. I think it's that what he's saying. By the way, can we leave this finance to you as well, Sir Council? Yes, that is possible. If Her Highness wishes, I will budget appropriately. That's a relief, right, my lady? If it gets annoying, go to Sir Council. Please do not disrupt the lesson, lady in waiting. Now, Highness, in finance, tax rates and investments are implemented. Yeah, that's what I was saying, yeah. So yeah, the finance thing is the tax rates and the investments. Just those two? Just these two? Which shall I explain? Okay, because I already know about this. The tax rates explanation. Highness, for an explanation of tax rates, please look at these materials. Yeah, see? This is what I was talking about. Like, if you implement minor tax rates, your funds, this is all connected. You decide, oh, I want them to be more happy. Look at the shibis, the little people, whatever. They are happy because the taxes are lower, so they are happy. You won't get as many rebellions in your territories because the tax rate is like minimal. In normal, it's like the normal, you will still get people rebelling over your territories. If major, they are going to be very unhappy. As you can see in here, like you are going to get a lot more things and more money, more funds, but they are going to rebel against you. You are going to have a lot of territories with issues and problems, okay? If I ever done with minor and major, yes, I did it. But for a first time, and even maybe during this route, maybe we'll just do normal, I don't know. But yeah, sometimes you kind of feel like, we are kind of like good, I'm going to put a bit more and see what happens, and kind of like that. But yeah, you are going to have a lot more things to manage because people are going to rebel against you, On the first week of every month, you are going to set which type of tax rate you want to put, and you have to deal with it, whether it's like minor or major or just the average thing. Yes, the level of tax rates set here will be reflected in the next month's taxes. Make taxes moderate. He's like recommending. Decide on one, and once you've chosen, press the confirm button at the bottom right. Then the tax rate setting is finished. Okay, he's like telling you like you need to click in there. Now then, as for the effect of choosing minor, normal, and major, I basically get it. Minor will make the people happy, and major will make them unhappy. That may be true, but more importantly, tax revenue will be less with minor. Major will lead to greater tax revenue, so you will get more stuff. Highness, if you are uncertain about getting tax rates, I recommend you choose normal, yes. More details. How should I... More details. I don't need more details. I understand. How should I use it? Let's... yeah, I understand. Okay, very well. Let's go to the knight's commands, because I don't want to dwell in this stuff for a really long time. We're already like going probably in an hour. Understood. Now I will explain about knight's commands. Knight's commands is basically ordering and carrying out various activities with each person. Hold it. The knights you're talking about are the contracted knights that we employ. Yes, I left out the necessary part. The knights I'm talking about here includes lords, meaning Her Highness is included in knights. So perform knight commands for the knights and lords serving us. That's right. Yeah, I mean, why is she in there in the list too? Because we might want to go to certain territories and actually talk to the lords to persuade them. Okay, so you can see it in here on the right side. Like, you have Filia, the princess, and she's on hold. See, like, her status is on hold, and you can leave it like that, you know, you can, but it's important sometimes that you go to certain territories and, like, see, like, for instance, Dietrich in here is in movement. You can put movement for them or the princess to go to certain places to visit the lords, to persuade them, to try to also reduce the amount of rebellion that you have in a certain area. I don't even remember if you can, yeah, you can gift from here too, if I'm not wrong, yeah. So choose the action you want each knight or lord to perform that week. The panel next to the person displays the action. If you press this, the selectable actions are displayed and you can choose the action for this turn. Okay. Once you've chosen everyone's actions, press the confirm button on the bottom right. You can re-choose any time before pressing confirm. Yeah, I don't know how this is going. It's been a long time. The lords, meaning in our case, my lady's actions, are decided with these knights' commands. Lords and knights are decided at the same time. However, for lords and knights, the actions they can perform are different. This is a point to be aware of, yeah. I see. By the way, how do we decide on actions or give orders? When you choose a person, their actions are displayed. Choose from those actions, that is all. When you choose someone, their actions are, it's the same thing. Depending on the type of the action chosen, sometimes you must choose the target of the action. That seems a little confusing. And sometimes you want to send a specific knight. I'm going to talk about this later. Sometimes you want to send a specific knight and you cannot do it because they are not available. Imagine something happened to them and you cannot send them, okay? Okay. So this will be our actions. See, like, we can hold, train, gift, cause an assassination. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, some of them sometimes die. Because you can actually ask for them to be killed. Imagine like a lord that is just causing too many problems for you. And you can actually, yeah. Okay, donate, request, contract, okay. Lords can choose from a total of 8 actions. Let's look at them in order. And summon. First is hold, no action is taken and health is regained. Like you see, like there's like another box in here. One has like the might, the luxury and stuff, and then you have like health, honor, power, wit, so on. So basically taking a break, meaning no messing around. Next is training. Special training is performed with knights serving you in the region. After you choose the action, choose the trainer. If none of your knights are available to be trained, one cannot be selected. Let's just see if I need... Do I need something like strength, honor? Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Choose the trainer. If none of your knights are available to be trainer, one cannot be selected. I guess that means exercising or studying. What can you choose for training? You cannot choose the type of training. It depends on the combination. I think what he's trying to say in here is if you choose a knight to train you and that knight is more lean to intellect, you're going to get more intellect. If he's more lean to strength, you're going to get more strength. I think it's like that. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure right now. Next is gift. Give one of the gifts you have and deepen the relationship with the recipient. Giving presents, we have to match the right gift with the right person. No, you can't choose which gift to give to who at this point. That option will be performed later. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember that. How it was done. He's saying later. It's been a long time. That's not what I was trying to say. It's fine, move on. Assassination. Bring destruction upon those that stand in your way. The target will be selected later. I suppose that's necessary sometimes. Sometimes, however, results don't always come immediately, so it may be necessary to perform the action multiple times. Yeah, sometimes they can escape and stuff like that. Yeah. Being honest, if I chose to assassinate one of them, it was rarely, I think. Because sometimes you reach a point where you really need to get rid of them. Okay, the situation is just impossible. And if you want to win, you need to do it. But I always tried not to, for myself. And yeah, but sometimes, I think sometimes you just have to. Yeah, I don't remember. Donates funds to another lord. It would be actually pretty cool to do a route where you just kind of like assassinate everyone. Because when the time of the votes come, like you don't have 12 people anymore. Do you understand? Like you have like 5 or something. Like you have so few. You can actually do that. And I never tried to be just this really mean type of Filia. I never tried that. And I'm like thinking, maybe it would be interesting to do like a route like that, where you just kind of assassinate everyone, you know? Donates funds to another lord. You can choose the lord to donate to at the same time as choosing the action. No matter how vehement their support, they can't vote if they meet with bankruptcy. It's an action to save lords like that, yeah. Sometimes they are the ones that are going to ask you for donations because the situation in their territory is kind of like bad. Imagine, they suffered in their funds because of rebellions in their territories. And now they need to employ more military. Imagine, now they are having like rebellions and wars within their territories. They need more military strength and they are not getting funds because people are not working, they are just rebelling. So they are like, sometimes they come to you and they tell you, I am facing this situation, could you give a donation to our country because we are in a bad spot right now? I think Wenzel is one of those. I think he's going to get like one of those situations, and you need to think about like, are you going to give a donation to him or not? You know, and in the beginning I think he was on our side too. Yeah, I'm kind of remembering. I think Wenzel is going to be one of them. But you can choose not to give. You can say like, no, I don't want. You know, I need that money for other things. You know, it's a management game. Doesn't it make the Lord really happy and boost up their friendship? Deepening friendship would be better accomplished with personal gifts. Yeah, the issue, let me tell you this, the issue with the gifts is that the merchant is going to come, I don't know, maybe once per week or maybe not even that. And sometimes he doesn't carry the right gifts that you need or that you want to give to that certain person. Do you understand? So, you kind of need to be lucky or you have like a really good guide, or you kind of need to be lucky that the merchant is going to bring the gift that you are really craving for to actually buy and give to the person that you want, you know. Sometimes that happens. That's how it is. With requests, you choose another lord and request a donation of funds from them to you. You can also request donations. And I'm going to tell you something. A person that you can always request funds is Sylvester. Yeah, I told you, he's a sugar daddy. He is like super okay to give donations to you. And let me tell you something, he loves it. Like, he even loves that you actually ask him to give you money, you know. Oh my god, he's so cute. Yeah. Oh, that sounds nice, but will they help us out? Of course, the donor's finances must be considered. It depends on the donor and your relationship. Well, it's best not to overdo it. Requesting donations can also show others a lack of strength. True. It's something of a desperate method. But it's fine. Let me tell, this is like me telling you this. It is totally fine for you to do with Sylvester. Okay, don't overdo it. Don't. But like, once or twice do it, because he loves it. He just wants to be a sugar daddy. It's like that. So tactics, even here. Okay, there are two remaining. First is contract. I don't remember this, the contract and the summons. I don't remember. This offers an employment contract to a knight. Okay, the target can be chosen at the same time as the action. Whether or not they will accept employment depends on the person, of course. I don't remember if I forged any contract. I mean, I forged the contract with that guy that I think it's Elliot. I'm still not sure. But I don't think it was through there, was it? I don't remember. Finally, it's summon. This calls your knights so you can converse with them and deepen your friendship. Yeah, I know what summon is. Okay, so yeah, you are after a knight. Okay, you want to do the route of a knight. Or you need them. It happened to me that I was in a situation where I needed protection. And unfortunately, I had no knight with me. So when this happens, you can't just say, okay, imagine one of them. Astrid, imagine we have Astrid. Astrid is just on the territory nearby, and I'm facing an assassination in here to myself, yeah, because Dictor is going to try to do it too. And you're like, I have no knight protecting me, and one of my knights is right next. Yeah, do not call a knight that it's like really far away in those situations. Don't. This knight is right next to me, and I need him in here because I'm facing a situation of an assassination. An attempt of assassination. So you can summon them and tell them, you need to come in here, I need protection, you know, kind of like that. So it's not only, what I want to say is that it's not only a matter of friendship, it's also a matter of protecting yourself sometimes. Like a date? Well, you could put it like that, yeah. It's mostly for dates. But I do remember that I had like a time where I think I needed like a protection or something, and I had to call a knight. that is all for Lord's actions. Or sometimes imagine, oh, they wanna do a duel or something, and you're like, but I have no knight in here, you know, like sometimes you need to call them. Hold, training and gift, assassination, donate, request, and then contract and summons. We choose from those 8. That is correct, but Highness, should I explain again? No, let me hear. Okay, let me hear Knight's actions. So we do the other one. Yeah, see, like it's kind of different. Knights can choose from a total of 8 actions. Let's look at them in order. So, movement. Why do you need movement? Okay, so you need movement because you need to persuade. Imagine like we have a epouvantail, and I'm saying this in French because the names are kind of French. Epouvantail. It's like that kind of red, pink. They call it red. It's like kind of like red, and you want to send a knight there to see if he can grab some rumors, if he can persuade people. So you use movement for him to go there and see what's going on. Do you understand? Sometimes it's just for him to see what's going on in that territory, how we can approach the lord of that territory in a better way. Yeah. Sometimes they might be in movement and you cannot do. I think that's what he's saying. Sometimes they can be in movement and you cannot do nothing. What does this mean? Imagine you sent someone to Liber. See, up there is like Liber. And it's going to take a long time for that knight to reach there. He's going to pass by other territories until he reaches Liber. Do you understand? So you might pass like another week and suddenly you cannot use that knight because that knight is going to Liber. You know, you cannot suddenly bring him to another place, you know, because he's en route. Is that how you say? En route to there. Okay, so he's going to be with the status of movement, and when you have the status of movement, you cannot do another action with him. Okay. If they move, can they not do any action that week? Good question. Movement doesn't interfere with other actions, meaning you can choose another action after moving. As I said, it's not that you cannot choose another action, but you need to be careful what you're going to choose because, I mean, they are like in Pompadour, going to Liber, and suddenly you need them in Argent. I mean, that's going to be another way around, you know, it's like that. It is very important to understand movement when utilizing your knights. The ability of knights to move from place to place, as opposed to lords who can't leave their territories, is very important. I mean, they can actually leave, okay? Because, for instance, I remember going to Adelaide and Lucian and stuff like that. You can. It's more in a formality way because you are going to visit them, and usually they need to give you permission, okay? As I remember, I think they need to give you permission for you to go there and visit them. I explained it about movement in a different category. Please ask about movement once I'm done summarizing the other actions. Now then, next is hold. No action is taken and health is regained. Yeah. So hold is also important for that type of thing that I was telling you about. Like, you put them on hold and they stay there and they kind of try to grab what's going on in that zone. Imagine we are going to Liber and I don't know, they pass by, we are in Locus Veritas, and they need to go to Liber. So they need to pass by Grunberg. Imagine, like, doing like this type of route. And when they pass by Grunberg, we can ask them to be on hold, so they can hear what's going on in there. It's a red one. I think this one is from Epidote, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so they can like stop in there and see what's going on in that territory. What are the rumors? What's, you know, gather information. And while they are doing that, as he's explaining, they gain stamina back. Basically taking a break. Even big, strong knights need a break. So then training. Knights train with another knight serving the same master and increase their abilities. Yes, you can also do that. One thing to be aware of is that training depends on the facilities. It cannot be performed in this castle. So what kind of training do they do? Combat skills or duels, studying or operations? That depends on the knights themselves. We cannot dictate that from here. Thus, choosing the trainer is important. I'm not actually remembering that much the training thing, but we'll see it. Next is challenge. We will do it, and you'll see that this seems very complicated, but you don't actually have to choose a lot of actions in here to actually do the game. That's what I'm trying to say. You want to do things in a complicated way, in a more strategic, complicated way, you do it. You want to just relax and do this in a very simple and practical way, you just do it like that, you know, it's kind of up to you. Next is challenge. Challenge a lord to a duel. If the lord loses the duel, you can gain their support. Yeah, you gain that support, but it's more like they are under your wing. It's not that they consider you to be a person to be admired or something like that. Do you understand? It's just that you won the duel, and so now they should pledge loyalty to you. It's not a given thing. What I'm trying to say is it will not be a given thing. It's just that they lost, you know? So now they need to pledge alliance. Okay, so that was quickie and easy to understand. How nice. However, there is the setup of the grounds and other things. So performing duels requires funds, and it is not cheap. A duel is where you show off the knights. It's common to prepare a splendid stage. So that means that even though you challenge, the duel doesn't begin right away. So it takes 1 week to prepare all the various things. Yeah, I think it takes like a lot of time. Yeah, I think it does. When a challenge is accepted, the lord and the knight's actions the next week will be duel. Yeah, because I think it's like if the knight is like far away and you propose the duel, sometimes it can even take weeks, as far as I'm remembering. Or someone, like most of the time, you don't actually need to propose nothing. You are going to see that actions are going to, scenarios and actions are going to come to you, and you need to deal with them. For instance, oh, but I don't want to do duels in here. Yeah, but you will have to do them. There's no way, because someone is going to come to you and expect to have a duel with you, or someone is going to come to you and try to assassinate you, or you need to do things. Like sometimes you may think like, I'm just going to be here and be this lazy person, and I'm just going to do nothing. Like, you can not do nothing, but you always have to do something, because the game kind of like pushes you into take an action. And there are many more things to notice about challenges and duels. For example, stop! Save the long speeches for later, next time, okay? First, the other actions. Yes, alright. Let us look at the other types of actions. I'll leave duels at that. Next is speak. You can make knights in the same territory speak to each other. Yes, you can. Does that have a purpose? It has. For example, knights can promote their master to masterless itinerant knights. If it goes well, the knight may come to see the lord. This is also important too. I was kind of forgetting about that. The knights, you can say that you want a certain knight to go there and speak to the lord to try to persuade them, okay? And Evangile, as we talked about in the beginning, is like one of those that he's kind of good with that. He's kind of good with words, and sometimes he can persuade the lords, but it kind of depends, okay? It kind of depends if they are going to accept the visit of your knight or not, you know? So like choosing knights that can persuade the lords and the people, it's kind of important in here. That's why I was talking about that old guy. What was his, Sigmund or something? I don't know. It's like an old guy, a knight that is like very old, and he's very good with words too. He's very good to persuade, and I think most of the time I usually pick him because of that. I know he's good with that. That's a crude way to put it, but that is possible. Well, I suppose it isn't impossible that your enemies could recontract them and increase their terms of employment. Yeah, sure. Sorry, that was a little detailed. Next is operate. You can have a knight perform political operations in a territory. Only a single person can perform this in a territory. Also, unlike duels, which gain support immediately after winning, the effects may take some time to become apparent. But also different from duels, no money is needed and there's no danger of the knights becoming injured, right? That's right. By the way, in operate, knights with high wit give better results. Yeah, I think like that Sigmund guy that I was talking to you about, I think his thing is like the wit. But I'm not sure. I don't remember. You can see the status in here. Like up here on top, there's like this box with, for instance, is Astrid in there. And you can see his status. See what he has more, what he has less. Have knights with high power duels and knights with high wit perform as operatives. That's what we should do. It is. You kind of need to have both. That is essentially correct. Now then, next is explore, where you can have knights explore a territory. Yeah, this is what I was telling you about. It's actually the explore one. This is very important. Exploring the territory is very important because they gather rumors and information about the territory. And you should actually use explore quite a bit to understand what's going on in there. Where you can find knights explore a territory, sometimes things are found. Yeah, sometimes, I think, sometimes they even find things, yes. You say sometimes, does that mean sometimes nothing is found? Well, yes, perhaps it is more common for nothing to be found. You can search for something specific or order them to find something. A plan is necessary when using this. I told you that I was trying to appeal, I think it was the last time or something. I was trying to appeal to Epidote, because he's like this grumpy old guy, and I was like, I think I'm going to try to appeal to this guy, and he wants I don't remember if it's like a music box or something like that. And it's not something that you can gift. It's something that you need to find the pieces to get these. I don't remember if it was something mechanical. I don't know if it was a music box. I don't remember anymore. But it was something mechanical. And I was able to do it. I was even able to actually discover and give him that. And even though he still betrayed me, I mean, that guy is like, yeah. So I think it's when you do the explore, sometimes you do find certain things that you cannot even buy. Because they ask you, okay, sometimes like the Lord can be like, oh, if I had this. And then suddenly you kind of like, your knights kind of like discover these little pieces that will form like that object. And it's kind of important. So as I said, like, I'm going to do explore a lot of the times because it's kind of important. Last is suppress. Yeah, suppress is another one that you're going to use a lot. Yeah, I would say more explore and suppress is like the ones that you are going to use the most. Speaking, for instance, speak is kind of like, yeah, you're going to use more what? You're going to use more the operate, explore, and suppress. Put this in mind. You are going to use these ones the most for them. Because like, for instance, the speak one, which is with the lords, it's kind of hard, or it's a lord that it's already very open to receive you, or if not, they are going to be, yeah, there's like this representative of the princess that is coming in here and wants to talk and stuff like that. I don't want him in here, you know? So it's better if you just use the operate, explore. Suppress is when you have rebellions. And this game is all about people rebelling, okay? You will have to deal with suppression quite a lot of the times. So, last is suppress. When violence erupts in the territory, which happens quite a lot, okay? Quite a lot. Why? Because you have certain events that happen during the game that you cannot avoid them. Okay, that's how the game works. When violence erupts in territory, you can have your knights suppress it. And usually the lords are going to be very satisfied that you were able to help them suppress that violence and rebellion that erupted in there, okay? If an honorable knight shows up, the issue is that sometimes the knights that you send in there are not able to do it. For instance, this is like the Elliot thing that I was telling you about. Imagine, Elliot has like no experience. I don't know if it's Elliot. I'm saying that it's Elliot, and maybe it was another guy. I think it was Elliot. Giving you an example. You have like this very green guy, new knight. And you send him to suppress a rebellion in a certain country, territory, sorry. And he's very green, you know. He's not able to suppress it, whether through words, whether through honor or military strength. He's a green guy, you know. He's not going to do nothing there. So you really kind of need to think about who am I going to send here or there. You know? That would depend on the wit of the knight you dispatch, yeah, as I said. Sometimes getting burned cannot be avoided. That is all for knight actions. Hold and training and challenge and operate. We can choose from these 7. Also movement. Highness, have you understood everything so far? I've got, yes. Very well. Do I need something more? Night commands. I don't need to hear anymore. I don't think we need. I think I did all of them, right? And probably need to stop a bit in here because this prologue is like killing me. It's like going in like what, 3 hours maybe. I have explained it. Okay, I think this is enough for the basic knowledge of ruling. Then if you learn little by little while doing it, it is like that. You will probably find that this is a lot. But when you're doing it, you're going to understand that it's not that complicated. It's just, you kind of do it in the way that you want to do it. And yes, you might end up failing the trial. Whatever, this is a game, you know, have fun with it. Just, I'm kind of like that type of person, especially in games. I'm more like, I'm not very competitive, so I'm more like, did I enjoy it? You know, yeah, I did. Okay, it's fine, you know. Take it like that, you know. I had my breath held the whole time, really. I'll say this again, lady in waiting. The one ruling is Her Highness, not you. There's no need for you to remember any of this. That may be true, but did my lady remember everything? That's right, repetition is important. Highness, is there anything you want to hear again now? Do we have to listen again now? I'm bushed. I suppose it would be effective to ask again while actually governing. Highness, if you want to hear explanations of governing on another day, please come to my office. If you want to ask about governing, yeah, I think when you go to his office, you can even flirt with him a bit. If you want to ask about when you have some free movement, go to the office and ask about governing. Please remember that, my lady. I think you can flirt with him too. Like, you just like go there, kind of like, oh yeah, I wanted to know, but you know, I wanted to spend some time with you, kind of like that. If you are into doing some of Winfred's endings. But as I said, I don't think you have a real romantic ending with him. I'm not certain. I have the sensation that you do not get a real romantic ending with him. Because I think you only can get that in the second game. Not sure though. Do not take my words for granted. Be that as it may, Highness, is there anything you want to check again now? If there is, please don't hesitate to ask. Right, for example. Shall I explain again about basic ideas of... No, I'm fine. Honestly, sorry, but it's taking so long. You must be tired. I am tired, Winfred. Please. You look somewhat happy, Sir Consul. My apologies, but Her Highness understood governing faster than I imagined. Even teaching you was enjoyable. Hehe, so it seems, my lady, he actually praised you. Oh, that's right, I forgot one very important point. Highness, please allow me to teach you one final thing. It's about contracting knights. During the trials of kings, if you contract with the knight once, they'll work for you for an entire year. However, there will be some knights who don't work as well as you hope. In that case, it is possible to dismiss them, yeah. We'll talk about that too. If you want to break a contract, call that knight back to the castle and offer them a contract. Then break the contract, and that knight will no longer be Her Highness' knight. Speaking of one last thing, there's something I want to say. Yeah, so true. You will have, like, remember that guy that I was telling you that he was no good? Yeah. You can continue with them. Yeah, you can continue, it's fine. It's just that you will have less resources, you know, when you do that. You can always contract another, okay? It's like that. You will have some knights in here that I will tell you this. You should just get them if you want to do their routes. Why am I saying this? They are not going to be good for the game in itself. Okay? They are not going to be good. Why? You have like one, I'm going to tell you which one is. At least one that I know that I don't need him, okay? And he's very pretty, he's very beautiful. But he's no good because he has poor health. He's going to be bedridden all the time. Like, you cannot use him, okay? So one thing is like, oh, I'm going to get him because I want to do his route. Sure, do it, okay? Get him. If you're not going to do his route, I don't see a reason for you to be getting that guy, because he's going to work like 1-2 times, then he's going to be bedridden and you cannot do nothing more with him, okay? So yeah. Or sometimes they are like, I want to visit my sister because they are like cis-coms, whatever, and suddenly they do not work, like, yeah, it will happen too. Does it have to do with governing? It does. In fact, it's a human problem before being a governing problem. That's quite bold. If you say that much, I won't stop you. Yeah, thank you so much. My lady, please allow your eclair to say one last thing. Knights, and of course my lady, are human. If you work without rest, your body will fail. Please take care with your health, forcing yourself to work with no energy, though it may be necessary sometimes, yeah. Oh, I cannot. Before you collapse and are forced to recuperate, wait and rest. I don't remember if I ever... I recommend doing that unless it's totally necessary. That's all. How about it, Sir Counsel? Isn't that really important? I'm going to stop a bit. I need to stop a bit. But we are going to continue.